Peter Sellers is an excellent example of what the book calls a chameleon actor. The book discusses how a chameleon actor can make quick, frequent changes in appearance in response to environment. They can adapt look, mannerisms, and delivery to suit a role. John McMurtry, in his article, Chameleon's True Colors Rarely Shown, discusses how Peter Sellers was described by a fellow British comedian, Spike Milligan, as the most complex simpleton in the world. He also later discusses how he became the chameleon with a vast repertoire of impersonations increasingly lost touch with himself. Anthony Wall says, being so funny, able to be so many people, and then this thing about never quite developing a true sense of who you are. Peter Hall also calls Sellers' true gift also an Achilles heel. Peter had the ability to identify completely within another person and think his way physically and mentally and emotionally into their skin. In an article by Richard Corliss titled That Old Feeling, Who Was Peter Sellers?, he discusses how this actor had no character of his own. In 1961, Sellers was quoted saying, "I writhe when I see myself on the screen. I'm such a dreadfully clumsy, hulking image. Why doesn't he get off? Why doesn't he get off?" Although he had little character of his own, Peter Sellers' chameleon-style acting allows him to play many different characters in many different settings in movies. One prime example of this is in Dr. Strangelove, or How I Learned to Stop Worrying and Love the Bomb. A paranoid general deploys a nuclear attack on Soviet Union. Only Ripper, the general, knows the code to recall the bombers and has shut down all of the communication. Captain Lionel Mandrake is the first role played by Sellers and is Ripper's executive officer. In the other setting, during the film, we find Sellers' two other characters of both the President and Dr. Strangelove, who was a nuclear scientist. The movie is about them trying to stop the bomb with no avail. The worry is, when the bomb attacks the Soviets, they have in place an unannounced doomsday device to detonate. In the end, the bomb blows up. Interestingly, a quote by the director Kubrick states that the incongruous bits of reality were closer to the truth than anything else I was able to imagine. After all, what could be more absurd than the very idea of two megapowers willing to wipe out all human life because of an accident, spiced up by political differences that will seem as meaningless to people 100 years from now as the theological conflicts of the Middle Ages appear to us today. Sellers also played three roles in the movie The Mouse That Roared. He played the Prime Minister, Count Rupert Mountjoy, who wanted to declare war upon the U.S. He then also played the Grand Duchess Gloriana VII, who was hesitant on this plan, and finally, Tully Bascom, who was the incompetent military officer. As you can see, all of these roles are very different, one even being female. In conclusion, Sellers, although most said he had little personality of his own, was able to take on many different personalities and characters in order to play a role. He was what some people would say, a true chameleon.